Today's topic, a victory in Geneva. This is Human Rights Watch's Daily Brief for the 7th of July, 2025. I'm Andrew Storline. Abusive governments are always pushing back against human rights groups. It's an uneven fight. Of course, governments have power. Human rights defenders are underdogs, armed with only research, the law, and perhaps a bullhorn. But sometimes we win. To get to today's story, however, we should start at the beginning, in Eritrea. Eritrea has one of the worst human rights records in the world. The UN Special Rapporteur on the situation of human rights in Eritrea gave a detailed report to the UN Human Rights Council last month. It described serious ongoing abuses. Arbitrary detentions and enforced disappearances are widespread and systematic. Freedom of religion is severely restricted. The government also has a policy of indefinite national service, including compulsory military conscription. This means most Eritreans spend their lives in government service. 10 years ago, the UN Commission of Inquiry on Eritrea concluded systematic, widespread, and gross human rights violations committed in Eritrea under the authority of the government may constitute crimes against humanity. In his report last month, the UN Special Rapporteur highlighted the lack of progress on accountability a decade after that conclusion. In short, the government continues its abuses and no one is held responsible for appalling crimes. Instead, the government of Eritrea has attacked the messengers. In recent months, in particular, they have made an aggressive diplomatic push to get rid of the UN Special Rapporteur. The government's efforts culminated in a vote at the UN Human Rights Council in Geneva on Friday to end the rapporteur's mandate. Rights groups urged concerned governments to defend continued international scrutiny of the desperate human rights situation in Eritrea. We worked with Eritrean and international rights groups to press the Council to keep the UN Special Rapporteur on the situation of human rights in Eritrea. In the end, human rights defenders won. Council members decisively voted down the Eritrean government's resolution and instead renewed the UN Special Rapporteur's mandate for another year. In fact, Friday's vote at the UN Human Rights Council was a resounding victory. Only 4 states, China, Cuba, Bolivia, and Sudan, backed the Eritrean government. 25 states voted against it. The work of the UN Special Rapporteur will continue. Of course, this victory will not improve anyone's situation in Eritrea overnight. Extreme repression won't end with the government's embarrassing diplomatic defeat in Geneva. But it does maintain international pressure on the government of Eritrea, and most importantly, it's a recognition of global concern for and solidarity with that government's many victims. That's it for my daily brief today. Until next time.